Lifesaver. Never leave home without it. This is where all the action happens. In the crazy heat, almost they can't live without a suntan. If only I'm in their shoes, then I don't have to get this tan, man, and use all the sunblock. People say that Indians don't like to swim. That's not true. If you put a shelter by the sea, or if all the swimming pools were sheltered, the Indians will fill the pools tomorrow.
It's tough work, it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. While people are partying, having fun, all we think about is our dream. All we think about is becoming the best. People say, who works the hardest is the winner. I don't believe that. It's not who works the hardest. It's who is driven by the vision to work the hardest. If you are not driven by a vision, you will not work the hardest. The reason why you're working the hardest is because something makes you see what you can become when you go there. And that drives you to work the hardest. If you try to work the hardest without having a vision, without having this thing in your heart that you can see, you know, if you try to do that, you give up within months, maybe a year, that's it. And you only make your mark if you can cross 2 years. If you say you want to be fit, after 1 year of training, you can say I'm fit. After 2 years, you can say I'm a healthy individual. I'm a fitness person. And after 3 years, you say I'm an expert. But before that, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, that doesn't cut it. And so we work very, very hard, and so that on screen, what you see on screen, you know that you know this is years of work. You know that this is it didn't just come yesterday. It's something that we're working at and suffering. And suffering is very important. And people somehow write that off, say that you don't need to suffer. How's that possible, man? I don't know how that, I can't see how that's possible.
Oh, the last part, the most fun part. Cryotherapy after we finish. After the craziest part is the best thing, man. Done, man. Finally. Home sweet home, man. After a long day. It's going to be my cheat day today. Trinity. Right there, I did that demo. I said 2 T's. Not too bad. Naren, that's for you. Because Naren keeps complaining that I'm not speaking Tamil. Finally, cheat day. Cheers. Oh shit. This is the shit. Sorry, this is the bomb. I cannot say shit. Some kids watching this show. Oh man. There's really no place in Singapore like Little India, because it breeds a very free, open kind of place for ideas. Just the way the Indian culture is, it allows you to express all kinds of ideas. It's like chaos and order where it mixes. Indian culture is sort of where chaos and order, the sweet center spot, and it looks a lot chaotic, but it allows you to have that chaotic feel as well as order, and for filmmakers they have to taste the extreme end of chaos as well as order. Then you have a full breadth and view of life. Some people do it through traveling. You don't have to travel. A place like Little India, a place that embodies this type of culture, it could be anywhere, or in solitude. I spend a lot of time in solitude, in nature, with trees, with plants. Then you think of different ideas and you have different ways of thinking, and interaction is so important. Meeting people, speaking with them. And I used to worry about language here because my Tamil is not good. But after coming here on Sundays and meeting with the Bangladeshis and the Indians and just sitting down and talking with them, the language barrier got overcome. They weren't worried that I didn't speak good Tamil, but just expressing their ideas and their heart, that's what makes a filmmaker, that's what makes an actor, your ability to sense and feel and interact. And that's the key. And Little India is one of the places where you can express this heart. It's a place where you can really feel the human heartbeat, the heartbeat of the human spirit. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
你要开头就知道，你要快一点。
What we're looking for is Mr. Bhaskar. 1958. Bhaskar KM. Due to a shortage of skilled workers, Cathay Careers started with only one film director and about 60 staff. Experienced directors such as KM Bhaskar were later recruited from Shaw Studio, and they helped to train the crew technicians on the job. So this is an Indian film director in the 1950s who became huge in Singapore, and he subsequently went on to make Singapore's name huge in the Indian film market. And that was the strategy that they used that was really smart. That's why film at that time was huge, because they were targeting the viewership and the eyeballs of Malaysia instead of the small nation audience that Singapore is. Singapore's situation for film is exactly the same right now, because they have too few eyeballs, and if you create stuff that's just for Singaporeans, you're not going to make a profit, you're not going to make money. So you have to make it, and in this time, for the international audience, you can, because of the reach we have through internet, you can do it. And that's our aim, that's our goal, to create stuff that's for an international audience. Then it makes sense being a filmmaker. And these guys sort of hit it in the 1950s, but it wasn't a globalized world. They didn't have the resources, so Malaysia was the only market, and once the Malaysian market sort of went down, film inevitably went down in Singapore as well. And these were great Indian directors who were used for the Malaysian market by Malays and even for Chinese films. So it's something that we have to learn out of their playbook. Look at what he says. If you think of yourself as Chinese, Malays, Indians and Sri Lankans, then Singapore will collapse. You must think of Singapore. This is my country. I fight and die for Singapore if necessary. I take words, man. I take words. For such words to come out from a person, he's got to be a tough guy. You can't. How can you possibly not be a tough guy and say these kind of words, man? We've lost that age of, maybe it's a comfortable world. So we're more interested in topics that are more petty, I guess. This is what it's really all about. This is what life's all about. S. Rajaratnam, hero.